Hello everybody, in this video we're going to go over how to add a sprite sheet into Unity and how to get it to animate. So we're just going to start with a brand new scene. You could use your existing scenes or make a new scene, new project, whatever you want. Just make sure the 2D part is selected. Okay, now in here, right now I have nothing in my assets. I'm just going to make a folder called animations, and inside there I'm going to have controllers, and you'll get an idea of why I'm making those folders. So once I have that, I'm just going to, inside the animation folder, I'm just going to import a new asset. And the assets that I have this bird flying sheet that I found online. So I just have this, okay? And once this gets inputted into your project section down here, click on it, and to the right, just make sure the texture type is set to Sprite 2D and UI. And the mode, because it has more than one image, you want it to set to multiple. Okay, now that you have it set to multiple, then you can go to Sprite Editor, and you click on Sprite Editor. It's going to say, oh, you haven't applied these yet. Let's just click on Apply. Now you get all your birds in here according to the sprite sheet. Now the good thing about how Unity's made our lives a little bit easier is there's a slice tool up to the top left, and when you click on it, you could set it to automatic and see if that works for you. So if I click on slice and then go back here, notice how there's boxes around each one of these items. Now if you've designed this correctly, yeah, the automatic slice, it should take care of everything else. Okay, and once you have that, we're just gonna close this out, and it's gonna say, oh, you haven't saved this yet. I'm gonna hit apply, and now I have that set. How do I know that it's been sliced that way? If you go back down here, click on your image, and you see this little arrow here. When you click on it, you're gonna see all these out in like this long line, and that means each one of these images is selectable, right? So once you know that, that's great. Now just to go back in here real quick, just to show you, if you ever click on one of these, you could actually change the name here as well of that. Now that's helpful when you have more than one type of animation, and so just keep that in mind. But for now, we're just going to work with one that has one constant animation. Okay. All right. So now that we have that set up, what I'm going to do is get my UI panel in, and just like we've been doing for a while, grab an image. Okay. Now in the image, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this there and call that bird. I'll rename this to bird. That way it makes a little more sense. Now once we hit play, you kind of get to see just the bird in here. So now the next thing we need to do is get it to flap up and down. So the cool thing that we need to do next is get this thing working. Now there's a couple things that we're gonna do. So first, let's go to Window, and I'm gonna just have you guys open up the Animation tab. Okay, and I like to just add these uh, to the actual. Oh, come on, there we go. To this right here, and that way then it just makes life a little bit easier. Okay, I'm also gonna add the Animator tag. Okay, there we go. So those two are there. Now when you have animation tab highlighted, click on your bird, and then you see right here it changed to begin animating bird, create an animator and an animation clip. So this is what we need to do. So we're going to click on create, and I'm just going to put this inside my controllers, and I'm going to call this bird flying. Okay, bird flying. Hit OK. You see these red record. It's like in this record section. Now what you get to do is just grab all these guys, move them up here, dump them there, and notice how they're like really scrunched together. This is based off of 60 samples In here we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if we change it to 14, it'll give us a better uh, timeline for this. And now that we have that set up, if you actually just go back to the scene and hit play, it'll actually start animating. And we have our sprite sheet. So it's really easy to get things started. It's just a matter of what you want to do afterwards, okay? Now, another thing just to look at is when you have your bird selected in your animator, you have this right here, bird flying. What we'll do is we'll go over how to have multiple um, animations within one sprite sheet, but use the animator to start developing your code and getting a better idea of how to control your animations. But for now, this is how you would set it up, and this is how you would get it going, and then you could just move it around and do whatever is necessary.